Let's see, 130. All right, there you go.
What is happening right now?
I have no idea what's happening. Gina is just trolling us right now.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? But yeah, I haven't fucked too much with TikTok and shorts. It's kind of like weird.
You would be good, man. I really loved the DLC lore video that you made yesterday. That was that was good. Honestly,
like that?
if you guys want to know all of the secrets to the new DLC and some insight that I don't really see anyone else talking about, you should really check out Maya's video. It's very interesting.
I don't know how everyone has like everything figured out just from one screenshot.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I pitched it. I was like, "Yep, I know everything." Fucking don't. Like, no one does.
But you did like a 30-minute video on it, right?
I think that video is the most half-assed video I've ever put on my my channel. It was literally just like we talked about it for an hour with my chat, and I just like trimmed up any of the dead space. I didn't even like cut off things like where I repeated myself. Like, I put no effort into that because I've just been working at this D&D video edit for literally 4 days now, so.
All right.
I'm gonna go to Italy one of these days, and him and I are gonna shirtless mud wrestle for subs.
Wait, that's gonna be an amazing stream.
Yep, I can't wait. I told my my followers, I was like, look, guys, if it ever gets to a point where I'm making, you know, like enough money for this to be a full-time thing, I will buy an IRL kit and we will do two things. Number one, we're gonna go to PetSmart and buy a rat, and you guys can name it. Number two is I'm gonna go to Italy and I'm gonna find Eder and we're gonna fight IRL.
GG's.
Poor Eder.
See ya.
He doesn't have anything to do with all of this.
Yeah, and if you're in Italy, then I'll drop by for sure. I mean, it's just like a little hop from Switzerland, yeah.
Yeah, you're just their northern cousins, essentially.
All right.
You are crazy. You're just weak.
Steelheart.
I'm literally dropping like $500 to get a PlayStation, just to prove just to assert my dominance over Eder. We're gonna do a best of 100. He's really excited to do it. He can't wait for me to get my PS5.
And Eder's gonna mop you.
Nah. I just throw for content every time I go live. Don't you worry. It's fucking easy work. Thank you, G. Don't fucking no. Fuck you guys. All I'm gonna say is if that man wanted to redeem the me stare at a wall for 30 minutes channel point, he could do it.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a.
Now I know what I'm like saving up for. That's a good redeem.
For 30 minutes, you said?
Yeah, I just stare at a wall for 30 minutes. If someone drops 100K, fuck it, you can have that.
Man.
I also have another one for 120 where it's just we play this goofy little wheat farmer song for 5 hours.
I'm walking to a farm to grow wheat.
The goal was more or less than anything to IRL shirtless mud wrestle, but we could also, I guess, play Souls 2. I guess that's, you know, people would probably rather see that, but the first one's really just for me.
But isn't that like how it ends with like all of the social media celebrities? At one point, they're just like go into a boxing ring and duke the shit out in real life.
Oh,
like...
You have no idea. I don't know what Eder looks like. He could be an absolute Giga Chad. I don't give a shit. But give me the gloves.
That would be hilarious.
Although I did draw what Eder looks like in Microsoft Paint. I think I nailed it.
Okay. Interesting. Oh.
G, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
Go ahead.
When did you start this whole magical Soulsborne journey?
I would say, and it was a while ago. Like, I started playing Souls games with Dark Souls 2, but you know, I was playing FromSoft games all the way back since the PlayStation 2 days. Like, I was mainly an Armored Core player, and in Armored Core 5, a buddy of mine talked me into trying out Dark Souls 2, and I was not into like fantasy games whatsoever. Like I hated any game that had swords and medieval stuff in it. So like Dark Souls 2 was my first one that made me like it. And I actually enjoyed it, and I played, I don't know, I think like a year of Dark Souls 2, probably like about 1K hours. Jeez. But yeah, at that time I was still into competitive shooters. Like I was an MLG pro for Rainbow Six Vegas 2 at that time. Hey. So yeah, so I was still mostly.
Wait, when you say MLG pro, are you saying that figuratively, or were you actually like on the circuit?
Yeah, in the pro circuit and everything.
Wow.
Oh, crazy. Didn't know that.
the whole Dorito meme. Yeah. Yeah, I have a game battle profiles with a bunch of trophies and gamer pride.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think the closest I ever gotten to that level of gaming is like just playing Unreal Tournament in a clan. But that's it. Not sure if you can like were there like a lot of tournaments for that game around that time? Do you know that, G?
Yeah, well, it was like it was at the beginning of like the whole competitive scene. Like, well, not the beginning, but when it started to flourish. Because the beginning technically is SOCOM. I think SOCOM was actually like the real beginning of like competitive gaming. But yeah, it was when it all started. Like there was like 20K tournaments out there. Like it was pretty competitive. You know, it's not like the type of tournaments there's today. Like right now, you could find like, or there was like $1 million Fortnite tournaments and whatnot. Like that, you would not necessarily see that at the time. But yeah, it was starting out for sure. But yeah, from there I was pretty excited when Dark Souls 3 was announced, and I mostly started like the YouTube thing with Dark Souls 3. Like, I already had a YouTube channel from Rainbow Six and all of this, but I kind of migrated to Dark Souls 3 because there was not any like competitive shooters that I was interested in. So I pretty much made the switch from like playing shooters to playing Souls game at Dark Souls 3, and I played Dark Souls 3 for about 6 years, and after that Elden Ring came out, and here we are.
Alright. So I'm glad you said that you started with Dark Souls 2, because this is I am really trying to fucking wrap my mind around that game. So everyone that I've talked to that started with Dark Souls 2 is like, I fucking love it. It has the deepest skill ceiling for PvP, and it's like the best Souls game from a PvP perspective. So I'm replaying it.
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay, that's thank you, because I've heard both sides. People are like, it's the best or it's the worst. I'm on, like, I played, like, Elden Ring was the first, like, I've been playing since DS1, but Elden Ring was like the first game that I've like actually tried to like pay attention to, like, what's a meta look like in this game, and you know, things like that, understand like mechanics and trying to get better and all that shit. But all the other ones, like, still I was a PvP player, but just as casual as it gets, right? Just doing meme shit. And frankly, I still do that. But but like so I'm doing a replay through of Dark. So I hated Dark Souls 2 like deeply. I was like, this game fucking blows. But like, I talked to so many people, they're like, nope, it's the best one, has the best mechanics and feints and all this shit and whatnot. And like, I don't know, I'm trying to, with an open mind, like it and see where people are coming from with that. I don't know, we're 2 days in. I'm not seeing it, but again, it's only 2 days. We'll keep charging forth, I guess.
One thing I've noticed is that a lot of people get hung up on the Souls games they were best at, right? So for them, like, the Souls games they were best at is the best Souls game. And I feel like there's always like some sort of a bias toward like the game that they will say has the best PvP regarding that. But I honestly think that throughout all Souls games, I think there was always an evolution. Like, I think like if you play Dark Souls 1 and then Dark Souls 2, you'll find that Dark Souls 2 improved for the most part on Dark Souls 1. You know, some things are better in Dark Souls 1, some things are better in Dark Souls 2, but I think for the most part, each Souls games kind of iterate on the last one for the better. And I still feel the same about Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. It's just that Elden Ring is a bit too large, so it has like more flaws than every other Souls game. But when it comes to like the core gameplay and the core mechanics, I think Elden Ring is still an evolution and perhaps like a more intricate PvP game than Dark Souls 3.
Do you think you could beat me in a fight?
Me, you?
Yeah, yeah.
No way. Like if you go with the red build, like you would like demolish me.
No, I'm talking IRL, like square up.
Yeah,
like,
for sure,
I'm
dude.
5'8".
Dude, like I do Krav Maga, I would like fucking kill you.
That's totally all right. Well, you know what? I'll drop you the coordinates when I'm hunting for Eder, and you can jump in on this.
Like if something like that ever happens, I'm gonna be like, what's the guy's name? Like there was this famous online feud on YouTube, like when they did the creator fight or whatever. And there's this crazy dude, the Sam Hyde, or like what's his name? You should know his name, Montage.
The iDubbbz Sam Hyde thing.
No, there's another. Let me look that up. Like, fill in for me here. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, yeah. Basically, my biggest dream. This is like I'll probably quit streaming once this happens because I will have completed my job. But I want all of the Souls PvP streamers to actually have one giant IRL fight, and truly see who's the best. So I will not stop doing this until I do that, guys. So if you want to support that journey, I'll keep you guys updated in the Discord.
Oh wait.
I want to call out in the heavyweight division.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you! In Los Angeles, at your house!
Or in the ring.
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him. And wear his makeup, and his dresses, and use his skin as a coat, like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your...
Well, the whole Bruce Lee thing was for the philosophy behind it. You know, the idea, like, some people know Bruce Lee for different things, but for the channel, the main thing was that he came up with the... I mean, Bruce Lee technically was the person who invented MMA, really. Like, he was the first one to mix in martial arts together to create Jeet Kune Do, even though, like, you know, people in pro fights don't use Jeet Kune Do today. They still practice this this mix of all the best martial arts put together.
Yeah, I have the book right next to me here. I've been looking through it like 2 days ago, so it's still on my table here.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah, the Jeet Kune Do, like his notes that I think they published them posthumously. It's like the notes that where he just jotted down like his philosophy of like the martial art, or however you want to call it, that he's done so far. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, so the idea was to just take the best out of everything, and be open-minded, and try to adapt as much as possible. That was like some of his philosophies that I thought were key to improving as a player and as a person as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So they stayed.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry, I'm focusing right now because I'm fighting some mobs.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very bad at multitasking.
These NPCs are very persistent, Maya.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just like getting lucky.
Watching Bruce Lee's the closest thing to a superhero. Watching him play ping pong with nunchucks is otherworldly.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if that thing was.
I forgot that was a thing.
That was
I don't know.
insane. That was insane. I saw the
These
video.
vids came at a time where like fake videos were much harder to make, so I have no idea if this is true or not. It, as always, like puzzled me if it was real.
I mean, I could imagine it being real.
Yeah, it's definitely not impossible. That's for sure.
All right, I'm gonna fact check it right now.
All right.
Are you prepared for this to be false?
Sure. GG's insane.
This is for G. This is for G.
I mean, from the sound of it, it sounds like it's fake. But like I said, I don't know if it's real or not. That's what I've been wondering.
Oh, okay. Well, the first like 10 10 answers are, yeah, that shit's fake.
All right, fair enough.
Well, I mean, that's not really proof, though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, that's
don't
true.
really know. 'Cause I know for a fact most people are stupid, so I never believe the majority.
I don't even believe myself most of the time.
Exactly. There you go.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good stance. How are you doing at the time?
Cool.
How was dinner? What did you have? Some pasta or?
Probably had meatballs and spaghetti. All right.
All right.
Don't answer that, Eder.
I'm not gonna answer that.
No, somebody on your stream yesterday said some like Italian pasta dish. I think was it with seafood that sounded delicious, and I went to Google and actually looked at it, like what it includes. But I can't like recall the name from it.
It's like spaghetti seafood. Yeah.
Ah, it's seafood. Yeah, that's it.
Wait, what is it called?
It's not for you, Montage.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
It's not American. It's not American spaghetti, you know. It's like Italian.
I will
spaghetti.
literally fight you for that recipe. Yeah. I'll just that'll be the last thing that I get from him as I'm squeezing the life out of him.
Give me the recipe.
You wish.
Okay. Not sure like why I'm having so much trouble against these two.
I ruined Bruce Lee for you like Santa. Yo, I'm sorry. It's a hereditarial thing. So okay, all right. So I was really young. This was like before the age where your parents start to tell you things like Santa isn't real and shit like that, right? And I used to do this thing when I was young where if I had like a nightmare or I was scared, I would come like sleep next to my parents' bed. Like I would just bring my pillow and my blanket. When I was like really scared, and I remember it was around Easter time, and there was a basket of Easter eggs, yeah, like because their closet was right next to where my head would lay, and I saw the basket of Easter eggs, and the next morning I confronted both my parents about it. I was like, what? Why are the Easter eggs here? And my mom, she's like, works in elementary education, so she's, you know, gotta keep that facade up as long as she humanly can to protect my innocence. She's like, oh, we give the Easter egg to the Easter Bunny, and then he hides him. And my dad just jumps in, he goes, Easter Bunny's fake, Santa's fake, Tooth Fairy not real. Just crushes all of them systematically, one by one.
Oh, that's insane.
I was like, okay. Well,
that escalated quickly.
Yep.
Jeez, insane. Holy shit, I can't believe it took me so long.
No one knows off of a fucking JPEG what's going on, right? You know? But it's like, so it doesn't, like, we can speculate all we want, and at the end of the day, it's just fun, you know, more than anything.
At the end of the day, it's just lore. Who cares?
Yeah, true.
All about
Nah,
the PvP.
I will be honest, like, Souls lore and shit is, like, kind of what solidified me as a fan. Like, I still think the invasion system is, like, the coolest thing in gaming, still, to me. It's how I see that, which is why, I'll stay around for that alone, but I remember when I was starting to play Dark Souls 1, and I finally beat the game, and I was like, wow, that's crazy, you know, felt all gratified for doing that, completing the accomplishment. And so I was just, like, looking up YouTube videos on it, and I saw this, guy called Epic Name Bro, and he just like had this whole series on like what the actual story was, like the real lore of it and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? I just beat this entire game and it actually had a story? I thought it was just like funny bosses, ha ha ha, very hard. Like I thought that's all it was. And so went down that rabbit hole. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was similar for me, funnily that you say it now, because I also like didn't know that this had a story, just like you said. But have you ever watched Nexus Void's video on the psychology of Dark Souls, I think it's called? Have you ever seen that?
I do not know who that is.
I have to like post it to you. Like he doesn't like do gaming content or usually yeah, he doesn't do gaming related content at all, but from time to time he like drops something where the lore in a video game has some like psychological meaning in terms of like death psychology. Like a huge Carl Gustav Jung nerd, and I love like just human consciousness and like the unconscious, like the stories that we tell each other. And he had this amazing breakdown of like how Dark Souls is just like the biblical story retold, like Genesis in some sorts, like where you have like
what?
It's insane. Like I have to link, like let me link it here. And it's like a 15-minute video, and he just like breaks it down so well, and you walk out of there and it's like, okay, so Dark Souls is not just a story, it has a very, very deep story that can compete with shit like the Bible and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Could you imagine some like evangelical father being like, all right, kids, we're gonna learn about Jesus, and he boots up the Xbox 360.
You know, like I would do that with my kids. Like, hey, kids, it's Dark Souls time. Let's learn about like human consciousness. Yeah, let me dig that video up for you. That's like it's amazing. And actually, like, so I've been looking. So yeah, everybody knows Vati, and he makes great videos. But like from a lore perspective, more like lore combined with real world history. There's this guy called Tarnished Architect, and his videos are like just chef's kiss. If you're into that.
I'm not gonna lie. Every night, basically, for the last, I don't know, how many months, because I have such bad sleeping problems, I've just, you know, just been watching shit before I go to bed. And pretty much every night I ended off with like whatever lore video, whether that's from Smo Town or Vati or someone else, you know. So yeah, inject that in my veins because I'm running out of content.
All right, I'll do that. Yo, Sleepy Sheepy, another amazing person, another amazing content creator here in the house.
I usually never watch like lore videos.
There you go, right there. That's more like it.
Never.
I mean, like,
Okay,
I try to understand the lore at my first run, so that I don't have to actually, you know, look at the lore again from videos and shit.
Okay, but that feels like more work. It feels like way more work.
But I mean, I like it. You know, if you're in a blind run in a game like this, at least like your first run needs to be like something that you might want to enjoy.
I don't know, man. I feel like people hold these games lore like way too high. Like to me, the story's pretty bad in my opinion. Every Souls game.
I would heavily disagree there, but fair point. Yeah. I mean, like,
play a game like Metal Gear Solid 4. It's way better.
Yeah, but I feel like those are like not comparable because like a game like Metal Gear where it's like more narrative, right? You know,
spoken like a true PvPer from Sheepy. Yeah.
Yeah. In the
Twitch chat.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, so chat knows what I'm talking about as well.
I see.
That's how you roll catch.
Dark Souls Cosmology. Ooh, it's only 13 minutes long.
Yeah, like I've wrote to him and asked him if he could like do more videos about that.
I like the videos where like I just stumble upon some like warhead that I've never heard of, and they're like,
bro,
an hour and 30 minutes on just what is a torrent? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's learn.
What's a torrent? Wow. I'm so happy that he ran out of FP here. Oh, not. What the fuck? Insane. Yeah, it's just like gonna continue spam that. Alright, oh.
Eder, if you could compliment me right now, what would you say?
Nothing.
Any thoughts on this invasion, Eder? Or if you're even watching, like, or chat?
Oh, I'm watching the invasion. It looks pretty bad, to be honest.
Bad in terms of?
Like, this guy's just spamming that shit.
Oh no.
I thought you were calling Maya bad, like...
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Your vortexing is very shit.
Pretty much an average fucking invasion in Elden Ring. You vortexing people.
God damn it.
Really proud of you to step off the first step yesterday. This is insane.
Nah. God damn it.
I have a question, another question for you, G. Like, obviously you pay attention to, you know, like things that, like, give you advantage in certain situations and stuff like that. How much attention do you pay to, like, frame data and things like that?
Very little, actually. Very little, because it can lead you in the wrong direction. Because usually, you know, everything that matters is, like, the player input. Like, how it feels in-game and how it plays in-game. So, everything else is just, like the frame data is more, like, to help you understand, like, how things function. But your impression of things in-game is more important than the frame data. So if you feel like something is hard to fight, it's going to matter more than if the frame data says that X or Y attack is faster or not. It's always good to still look at it, because sometimes you can still find like attacks that you would not necessarily think are good, and you might take a second look at them knowing that they have like good frame data or whatever. But no, I don't look at frame data much.
If you could change anything about the game, and you can't pick like network related, like netcode and latency and all that, or light roll, those two, what would be the one thing you change?
I mean, I talk about this like pretty much every stream.
Oh. Yeah, I guess like my question more. Yeah, that's true, you do. But like, I guess more my question is like, you had to pick one. Like, what is like the
most important change for the state of the game right now?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the most important change right now for the state of the game, it would be hard to really pick one, because Elden Ring, since the game came out, the main issue has always been that it's multiple issues compounding on top of each other. So even if you fix one, it's not gonna make the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you could say that probably like the most important things to fix right now are like some of the game-breaking glitches. Like there's a lot of like very nasty glitches that people don't use yet, but few years down the line, this shit is going to be like pretty rampant if it's anything to go by Dark Souls 3 standard. So those would be the priority now, even though they would not have like any tangible effect on most people's experience. But those like would probably be the most important ones.
Are you suggesting that there's glitches in the game that pretty much no one knows about, that aren't like super popular right now?
I mean, Rob 11 comes to mind, right?
There are plenty of them.
There's a lot of them, to be honest. I know some of them that I haven't seen anywhere, that I've been told by some... like, I don't know if you guys know Dan Master.
No.
He's like one of the like most prominent guy in the glitch court. He finds like a lot of glitches. I think he's the one who found... I don't know if you guys remember, I did a stream back then of like perpetual like dragon breath. Like you just walk around and you're just dragon breeding constantly, and it's invisible for other people.
saw a video. Yeah.
Couldn't you
I saw the
do this
video.
with the bubbles as well? Was it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Dan found stuff like that, but there's like other stuff that he talked to me about that I have tried, but I haven't shared. Then that stuff isn't public. But yeah, the game is plagued with game-breaking glitches, to be honest. And the worst part is a lot of them are like so game-breaking that they're invisible for other players. So like stuff that one-shot and you can't even see.
Fucking carrying retaliation before that got patched.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's one that you had to fix back then.
good old times.
Why the fuck have we not got a patch yet?
Probably working on DLC now.
Yeah,
I mean-
I don't know, like
We're not getting anything, man.
we're not getting shit. Is that your okay?
We're not getting shit. The DLC's a myth. They just started working on it. You're not seeing it until next year.
Dude, I was talking about that on my stream because like obviously
Why do you
like
think it's only a picture?
right, yeah.
Exactly.
I told people that. People like I was like at best we're gonna get it like this is the most optimistic is like late fall and like holiday season. That's my feeling. Because it's kind of hard to think. It feels like so much time has already passed in this year, but it's literally only the 1st of March. You know.
Well, to be honest, it's kind of weird that a year has passed by and the DLC is probably going to come out in minimum six more months. So it's like weird. You have a game that's like super popular and the DLC doesn't come until like way later when most people have quit the game. I don't know how it's going to turn out for them. I know it's their most popular game, but still a bit strange for like as far as business is concerned.
I thought that they were already working on it.
I mean, they could, but the fact that they announce it now, like, it just means that you should probably expect around 6 months.
Yeah, what I heard was whenever they drop a trailer, it's usually around like a month or two is when the DLC drops. And the fact that it was just one picture, and specifically using the language, it's in development, I was like,
Yeah,
oh boy,
in
oh
development
boy.
doesn't... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It means exactly what it says.
Yeah.
the new Zelda is in development, right?
Yeah. You know what's also in development? Elder Scrolls 6. That's, you know, so...
Oh, the scale is different though, but... Speaking of what's in development, I'm looking forward to... Well, first of all, Armored Core 6, of course. I don't know when they're gonna release that, but it's at least this year. And then there's also Starfield. Those are the two next games I'm looking forward to.
I've been saying for a bit now that if Starfield specifically, that title, if that flops, then gaming is in a very, very, very bad place right now.
I don't think it will. I don't know if you heard that, but there has been like there was rumors a while back about the game testers saying that Starfield was similar to like how Cyberpunk released, and then these same people, like these same playtesters, replayed another build of Starfield later on, and apparently it blew their mind. Like it was like so good, they had never seen anything like that. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I'm gonna...
CD Projekt Red working on a like online component for Cyberpunk? Or
I don't know if they scrapped that actually, but
okay.
I know they have like a pretty hefty roadmap ahead of them, and they have like other studios working with them as well, different projects. So I'm not sure exactly what's the next thing from CD Projekt.
Yeah, it was interesting to see like how the anime that they did saved their ass, or like basically saved their game, or like re-sparked interest into the game.
Yeah, that
from
anime
others.
was sick.
Yeah.
I heard it was really good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like visually, the story for me was not the best, but like the whole thing was just so good that
Yeah. I mean,
it was pretty cool.
I think they nailed it with the story, because basically it's just, and like spoilers for anybody listening, it's basically just like what you can then do in game after like watching the anime. I mean, it's just like a random character in Night City, his story, one season, and then you could like do a second season with a different story. And I guess that's like that gets you into like the role playing mind of, oh shit, I could like make my own character and just explore Night City like that. So on that part, I think they nailed it with the story, even if it's not like super engaging.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried for Starfield, but I'm tempering my expectations just because I'm a cursed individual. Everything I like goes to shit, or everything I get excited about. So let me just name like a few of the games that I was most excited for. I'm like, this is going to be my favorite game of all time in the last few years. For Honor, I was like, this will be the best fighting game ever. It releases with peer-to-peer, and you could not do a 6-person game because the losing team, if the guy that was hosting the match was on that team, they just quit. Yep. Yeah. And so that was unplayable for the first like 6 months, honestly longer. So that game went to shit. Then there was this other game. This was going to change gaming forever. This was going to be my favorite game of all time. It was going to just... I was going to take my favorite franchise and make it the best it could possibly be. That was Fallout 76. So that didn't pan out either. And then what was another one? To go through my fucking library. But basically everything that I was like, this is it. This is finally, I'm like, this is that game I've been looking for after so many years. The only one that has managed to pull it off was Elden Ring. The only one that is actually, like, not somehow, like, I don't know, like, some crazy, like, act of God just ruins the game, you know? No. Like, that it hasn't happened with.
Yeah. Like, I still remember 1 year ago, I took, like, I'm self-employed, and just said, fuck it, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off just to play Elden Ring and immerse myself into the world. Yeah, and like first time a game, or not first time a game has done this, but first in a long time, basically, for sure. And maybe that's also like what hooked me with the PvP and everything. Just want to continue this thing.
I wonder, thinking back to my first playthrough, if Elden Ring truly was that incredible and enchanting, or if like
we were biased,
or if there was literally, I think it's a bit of biasness too, but also the fact that like there was nothing that was worth playing at the time for a long time, for like a year or two.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean,
I think Elden Ring is still a good game. It's just
I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's a great game.
I mean, have you played Breath of the Wild, Montage?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like giving money to Nintendo because one of my favorite games of all time is Super Smash Bros. Melee, and that company has absolutely they have done everything imaginable. They have shit, they have pissed, they have every possible horrible thing you can do to another creature they have done to the Melee community. And so I refuse to give them a fucking penny.
Okay, care to elaborate? Because I have no idea about, like, I know that the one from GameCube is still played today, right?
Yep, that's Melee. So, yeah, so basically what had happened was, like, Nintendo is keeping this, like, 900-year-old opinion that Smash is a party game and should only be allowed to be a party game and a party game only. There's like, for whatever reason, they're indifferent to the idea that it could have a competitive scene. And so
a lot of Japanese devs have this like very stubborn perspective.
Yeah, I don't get why, like, whatever, like, but basically what it's boiling down to is this game is it came out in 2001, I think, and like I remember that so it's a 20-year-old game, and throughout those 20 years, Nintendo hasn't supported the scene in any way, which is fine. Like they don't have any obligations to support the scene. That's totally okay. But not only have they not supported the scene, they have in multiple occasions, they have like shut down big tournaments. They have like for instance, there was a year or two I remember where like the biggest fighting game, like the Super Bowl of fighting games, is this event called Evo. And on a few years, they literally were like, you can't have melee. Like, you could have ultimate, but you can't have melee. Because we want... Like, their reasoning was we want people to buy the new game. So they literally snubbed melee out of the whole tournament just because they were like that. That was like a good marketing play, I guess. I have no fucking idea. But yeah, there's been like majors where like thousands of people will sign up to enter, and literally they'll just shut it down like a week before. And yeah, it's so Nintendo has, for whatever reason, and actually right now the Smash community as a whole, not even just Melee, is going through an issue where Nintendo is thinking about pulling the license to have any competitive tournaments whatsoever. Like just to crush the whole scene for no reason.
You know what it reminds me of? Fucking Reddit. You know, like it's like the devs are Redditors. They hate anything that's competitive. Yeah, no, they would, okay,
Nintendo would fucking love the Elden Ring subreddit. Yeah, these guys get it. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That was good. Holy shit.
But I think like what kind of like makes the Melee scene specifically so beautiful is despite all of these setbacks and despite that Nintendo, the company that made the game that these players love, has stepped in their way. They're just like the fucking cockroaches of esports. Like, you can try to kill as many of them as you want, but those motherfuckers will play for $20 behind a 7-Eleven and not broadcast it. They will just keep going.
Like, so far what I've seen from over the years, like, doesn't have me too worried, but maybe I'm like...
I think they're fine. I think one of their biggest strength is that they don't really give a fuck, so they just follow their artistic flair and artistic vision, and that makes it so what they're doing doesn't have anything to do with what was previously done. So it has its plus and cons. Like, I feel like even though like those are all Souls games, when we talk about like say Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring, you know, Sekiro, all that stuff, like, even though they're all like similar in the genre, they still feel very distinct from one another because they're not scared of going like pretty different, even though it's supposed to be like the same formula. Whereas if you look at like a Call of Duty or an Assassin's Creed, like the games are literally a copy paste of one another. So I think because of that, we can always expect like the games that come out from them to be significantly different over the last one. And I think that's a good thing because it's what keeps people like interested.
I like that they use the same formula, but they change pretty much every aspect of the game. So it's not like always the same, right?
Yep.
God damn it, third time I'm doing this. Same backstab.
I mean, like thinking about Elden Ring, it's even if it's open world, it's still the same formula. It's just like the areas are bigger, and so the game is developing a different way.
No, and it has this kind of arc. I mean, if you go back to Demon's Souls and just play through the old games now, you can see like the evolution of the formula. It's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys prefer
pretty much in every single game that they made.
Do you guys prefer the linear style or the open world style?
I actually prefer open world when it's done right. Otherwise, I prefer linear. It's like I like me some Skyrim. I prefer like how Bethesda handles like open worlds.
But even there, you see like the Souls formula into open worlds. So basically, you could like say this is just like one huge Dark Souls 3 level, right? Or like multiple levels. I mean, you can like just pick a grace point and then like stop from there and like kill every mob. And that in the end would probably feel similar to like how Dark Souls was with like just linear progression.
No.
No?
No. I disagree there. No, I think like when you look at a game like Elden Ring, it's amazing on your first run, but once you know what to expect and once you know where the enemies are, there's not much that you need to do aside from running on horseback from point A to point B. So there's not much like level progression in there. Whereas if you compare that to like legacy dungeons, which are pretty much what the linear Souls games are, look at legacy dungeons, even if you try to skim through it, it's still more enjoyable to go through as opposed to just traversing through the open world on horseback.
Okay, fair point.
Well, I mean, it's to each his own for that sort of stuff. It's not something I feel like very passionate about, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean...
Right now, I'm actually playing the PvE.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Like, the first thing when I, like, played through Elden Ring was, damn, like, if I were on PC, the first thing I would download after, like, finishing it would be some kind of randomizer mod. And I think there are a few out there, but I don't know, like, how good they are.
Yeah, I feel like they did that right with Dark Souls 2.
With the Ascension system.
Plus, yeah. New Game Plus being like different enemy placement, like mixing things up. I feel like that's really a must. I'm not sure, like, this is what I mean when I say, like, sometimes, like, they have good ideas for their Souls games, but they don't go through with it. And I feel like that's one case right there. Like, Dark Souls 2 had Bonfire Acidic. They had like different enemy placement and like more interesting New Game Plus, and they never tried to re-implement that, even though that was a good idea. Like they always start from scratch with every new Souls game. They don't pick up on the bad ideas and they don't pick up on the good ideas. Like most of it is just blanks, you know, just we restart every time. I mean, it has its plus and cons, but I feel like there's some missed opportunity there.
I will say that about Dark Souls 2. While it is still firmly at my least favorite Souls title, it has the best ideas. It has the best covenants. It has the best fashion. It has, like, it's probably the most creative title that they have made. Gosh, if it just didn't have such shit gameplay that people say is great gameplay, I don't know. Well, still trying to, still open-minded about that, but no.
I think, like, if you play older Souls game right now, Dark Souls 1, and like actually Dark Souls 2 and before are gonna feel like clunky, whereas Dark Souls 3 still feels fine, and Elden Ring still feels like way better than all of them. Like when you actually play them, like they just feel very dated when you play them.
Dark Souls 1, I don't know what it is. I don't get that dated feeling the way I do with Dark Souls 2.
Really?
I think, yeah, the remastered version, and honestly, the remastered didn't really improve anything on the controls as far as I know. Yeah, like, it also could be that it's probably one of the highest played games I've played in my life. I played that game when Dark Souls 2 came out. I played that game when Dark Souls 3 came out. Like, and I think going back to G's earlier point, where it's like the game that you just, you know, you were best at, you know, you probably have fondest memories, and I think that's probably a big part of it. But I think, yeah, I don't know. Like, I still think though, just like trying to be unbiased, that that's insane that guy just didn't see you. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just, like, while it is clunky, right? You know, with the really just insane backstabs and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. It still doesn't feel as clunky the way Dark Souls 2 feels.
Yeah, I think Sekiro brought the best changes in terms of clunkiness. Like, if you played Sekiro, it's just like so fluid. And yeah, it's basically a written game, and they implemented some of that in Elden Ring, I think. Or at least I feel. But yeah, Eder, sorry, I was interrupting you.
You know, like, Sekiro is very fluid. I like it a lot.
DC?
I like the gameplay. Like I feel like the S2 it feels clunky because the game director was not Miyazaki.
Yeah.
So
I've been saying that. Look, I'm not on team chew on his dick, but I will say the games where Miyazaki, which was all of them except 2, to my understanding, felt good. It was like the same thing where it's like, people will say that Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game because it had the best ideas. But it had its fair share of problems, and that's because that one was made by Obsidian, whereas the rest were made by, well, not the rest, really, just 3, 4, and, you know, beyond.
Yeah.
Was made by Bethesda. And I like the Bethesda versions more. I just think their way that they do questing, like quest flow, dungeon flow, things like that.
I actually agree with you 100%. I like Fallout 3 more than New Vegas, even though, like, you know, New Vegas implemented plenty of new things that were just better, but I still prefer Fallout 3 over it.
You just became one of my favorite people for having that take, G, because in the Fallout community, that is a fucking...
I know.
That is that's a hot take.
Yeah, it is.
I only played the 4th one, and I liked it.
Fallout 4 was probably, like, story-wise, it's, like, by far the weakest. Like, for everything an RPG stands for, it's the weakest, but it had, like, better gunplay and better... I love that settlement system. Like, for anyone that's, like, a bit artistically driven, like, that settlement system is just, like, the best feature ever.
Yeah, that settlement system gave so much replayability to it, but... Yeah, I don't know. Fallout 4 was... I'm not going to give it too much shit because all it was trying to do was try something new. With, like, you know, like, putting your character, like, voicing your character and stuff like that. But I think they probably learned their lesson that, you know, not voicing your character, but then having a lot more creative options with... you know, like with the dialogue that you can say, like you could just walk up and call someone just a piss baby bitch boy, like you couldn't do that in Fallout 4, and yeah, so that's one of my issues with it. Well, like you were saying with the RPG elements, and you were getting so many disconnects today. It is crazy.
But folks, I might have to wrap this soon here, so like 5 more minutes, then I'm done with stream. Yeah, like, just maybe some, like, administrative stuff, like G and Eder and Montage, obviously. Is it okay if I, like, just cut out the interesting bits from this conversation and dump them onto YouTube? Would you guys be okay with that? Or,
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, maybe, like, for you, like, this is a idea I had with Wired Things. He does mostly YouTube stuff. Okay, great. But we started a series way back at the beginning of, like, summer or something, called Locker Room Talk, where we just, like, got together, like, watched some invasion clips and just, like, discussed the invasion, like, strategies, challenges, and just have a fun time talking to each other, talking about gameplay. And we want to bring that, like, to the community in the form you see right now. So that's, like, Recusant Radio, and the idea is not that just I, like, run this Recusant Radio, but, like, you could just, like, get the logo, and if you have somebody on stream that you, like, would like to talk to, like we do right now, then you just pop on the icon and just talk like we do, play, and then send it to us, and we will keep, like, an index of all of the people that do, like, talk shows or, like, podcasts like this, because I really enjoy doing that and having, like, just an index of different streamers to discover, and, like, what their opinions are about the game and life in general, mindset. Like, I love that stuff. Yeah, and you probably know that I'm a huge Joe Rogan nerd, so so yeah, just as a disclaimer. But yeah, it was amazing having you on, you two. Thanks for joining. Like, really surprised.
I would say that I don't usually join in Discord calls.
No.
Yeah, it was only because I was here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love you, Eder. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't usually join in Discord calls or something like that. But I mean, if you guys want, I can join for sure.
Yeah, like every time, like I'm open. Everybody knows. Sometimes we have like a lot of times we have Iced Estes on. Sleepy Sheepy, who is in the chat, is also on sometimes. Like just cool people in general to hang out with, talk about. Yeah.
Ender, you need to jump on more. I want to crack you open like a clam and just get all of that Eder out.
That sounds so disgusting. That you're so fucking.
I'm gonna get so much Eder inside. It's gonna be great.
It is pretty weird. I'll give you that.
Insane. No, that's here. At least clinically. Yeah, jeez. Alright, best way to end the stream, guys.
There you go.
GG's. Streak over. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, I guess it's for you guys, right? Yeah. And yeah, Wednesday evening to you. Good night, Eder. G, Montage. It's been an honor talking to you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, everyone. Bye, chat.
Alright, yeah, take care, man.
Bye. Thanks, dude.